my dears, and happy Sunday. I hope everybody has had a fabulous weekend. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Emma, and I'm so happy you clicked on my What's for Dinner video. I hope you love it. We'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. These are 4 easy, affordable, delicious weeknight dinners I made for my husband and I this previous week. Let's just jump right on into this week's What's for Dinner video. For tonight's dinner, we are having some of these Jennie-O turkey burgers. So I just preheated my cast iron skillet, and I'm going to put all 4 of these turkey burgers into my cast iron skillet. Once my turkey burgers were in my skillet, I am going to season them up with some Badia Complete and some Kinder's Buttery Burger Blend. After about 3 minutes, I decided to season the other side, so I flipped the burgers and did the same seasonings on the other side. Once I'd seasoned them, I popped the lid on, and I'm just going to let the burgers cook up until they are fully cooked. While the burgers finish up, I got all our condiments out. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup, and then I decided I wanted a little side salad to go with our burgers. So I just washed and cut up a cucumber, some cherry tomatoes, and some lettuce. Then once our burgers were done cooking, I added a slice of Kraft single American cheese on top of 2 of them and some onion. And then I just let the cheese melt. Once the cheese had melted and the burgers were done, I took the burgers out of my skillet and put them on a plate. And then I just heated up my brioche burger buns in the same skillet and just let them warm up just for a few minutes. Anyway, here it is served up. On our burgers, we're going to add some ketchup, some mayonnaise, and some mustard. And as you can see here, I did add a little bit of lettuce to our burgers as well. Then for our salads on mine, I'm going to add some of these chow mein noodles and Caesar dressing, and my husband is having ranch. And that's it. Delicious. Happy Taco Tuesday. For tonight's dinner, in my slow cooker base here, I'm going to add 1 boneless, skinless chicken breast. Chicken breast is in. Next, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Bouillon is in. Next, I'm going to add a cup of water. Next, I'm going to add some of this El Pato salsa. It's a little spicy, so give the chicken good flavor. Just going to pour this in. This is a 7-ounce can. Next, I'm going to pop the lid on, and we're going to slow cook this on low for 8 hours. Then after the 8 hours, I took the chicken out and shredded it, and we're going to use some of these Tostadas shells. So I just put them on a plate, added a little sour cream and some of that chicken, and I washed and diced up some lettuce, threw that on the Tostadas, and then some of this cheese. I put that on top, and then I cut up a tomato and threw that on top. Then lastly, I had some of the juice left over in my slow cooker, so I spooned a little bit of that on top of the Tostadas as well. Absolutely delicious. For tonight's dinner, I'm going to start by bringing a pot of salted water to a boil. Then I'm going to add some olive oil into my skillet, and we are going to season up our chicken. I just did a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of slap your mama seasoning. No measurements, just coat the chicken. Then last minute, I decided I wanted to cut my chicken into strips. So I ended up doing that. And then I threw the chicken into my hot skillet. And I'm just going to let the chicken cook up. I did flip halfway. While the chicken finishes up, for our sauce, I'm going to crack 3 eggs into my measuring cup. I'm going to add a cup of Parmesan cheese and just give that a little stir, stir, stir. Then I added a 1/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream, some salt, and some pepper, and just stirred that up and set that to the side until we are ready to use it. Once my chicken had cooked up, I took it out of my skillet and put it on a plate, and we're just going to let it rest. Then I cleaned my skillet with just a paper towel, and we're going to cook up some of this thick cut bacon. Once the bacon had cooked up, I took that out of the skillet and put it on a paper towel to suck up all that grease. And then I cut the bacon into little chunks. Once my pasta water was boiling, I threw in, I don't know, a handful of pasta, let's say. Once it was cooked up, I drained it, and I did reserve some of the pasta water. Now it's time to cook our shrimp. So I just detailed the shrimp and washed it. Then I added a little bit of butter to another skillet, and we are going to throw the shrimp in with a little bit of the Slap Your Mama seasoning that we used on our chicken, and we're just going to let the shrimp cook up. Shrimp takes no time. Now to our spaghetti noodles, I'm going to add some of our sauce that we made earlier, and I'm just going to add a little bit at a time and just stir it in. Once my sauce was well combined, I added in my bacon to the spaghetti, gave that a little stir, stir, stir. Then in goes my chicken, and we give that a little stir, stir, stir. And then finally, I added in my shrimp. Once everything was stirred in, I just let it sit on my stove for about 5 minutes so everything could get nice and warm. Then I served it up. I added a little extra Parmesan cheese on top. And that's it. Absolutely delicious. For tonight's dinner, I'm going to start by putting a little bit of olive oil in my skillet and letting it get nice and warm. And once the oil is nice and warm, we're going to cook up some of these Johnsonville beer brats. I'm going to fry them up on each side for about 5 minutes. Once my brats had cooked on each side for 5 minutes, I flipped them, and I'm going to make a little sauce for them to cook up in. So I just added a teaspoon of beef bouillon to a measuring cup along with a cup of water, gave it a stir, 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 and poured it on top of my brats. Popped the lid on, and I'm just going to let this cook up for about 40 minutes. After the 40 minutes were up, I took the lid off and I flipped the brats again, and I'm going to add my cleaned mushrooms, and we're just going to cook up the mushrooms for about 15 minutes. And then to serve the brats up, I'm just gonna put them into a warmed hot dog bun with some mozzarella cheese. So I have my warm hot dog buns here, and then I put the mozzarella cheese, and then the brats with some mushrooms. And then my husband wanted mustard on his. And that was it. Super delicious. And that concludes this week's What's for Dinner video. I hope you guys loved it. We'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Come back on Wednesday for my Soup of the Week video number 62 and Friday for my puff pastry short. I hope you have a fabulous week. Bye.